morning, friends. How is everybody doing today? Everything went well at my doctor's appointment. I got my anti-inflammatory medication back, so I feel much better today. Man, that was a bad week. Last week, oh my gosh, I was in so much pain. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Wow. Not used to having so many people in my chat waiting for me. Wow, you guys are awesome. Good morning, Jill, Idaho, Nancy, Judy. Wow. Thank you, guys. This is great. In 1994, Phil Spector wrote a letter to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's nominating committee to oppose the Ronettes being considered for induction. What? Phil Spector argued that the group was not a proper recording act and did not contribute enough to music to merit an induction. Talk about sour grapes, man. Just because Ronnie divorced your butt, you don't want them in the... This man, I swear. He is not right. This man is not right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Jeez, what a jerk. And I censored that for YouTube because I think much worse of him. Okay, so the witness today, I forgot his name, is apparently David Shapiro. He is a friend of Lana Clarkson. And I don't know what he's going to say. He's a defense witness. I guess he's going to say she was suicidal or something. I don't know what else would help the defense but that. So, and it's going to be about an hour and 11 minutes. So that should take us right up to the Reed trial, which I have heard is happening today. I guess we will find out when we get there. But let's watch this guy and see what he has to say.
And last name for the record.
David Shapiro, David Shapiro, Schapiro.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Mr. Shapiro, thank you for joining us here this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Hi.
You and I have met previously, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think I stopped by and paid you a visit over the holiday, the 4th of July weekend. Isn't that right?
Yes.
During the okay. And Ms. Tyndall will come, please.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Shapiro, I want to turn your attention back to the year 2002. Sometime in that year, did you meet a young lady by the name of Ms. Lana Clarkson?
I did.
Okay. And can you tell us approximately when it was that you met her?
I believe it was around May.
Well, I was in a good mood. StreamYard. Seriously. Do we have to do this every day?
Until around December, January 2003.
Okay,
2003.
hang on a minute. Let me tell you, we have certain rules in here, one of which is
Sorry.
don't talk at the same time because it's very difficult for the jury to hear what we're saying, and Diana will jump out of that chair and strangle both of us. Okay, so it's called sounding, and it's a reporter's worst nightmare. So let me finish, and then I'll let you finish, and it'll make for a clean record, and everybody will hear fine. All right?
Yes.
Okay, for June of 2002, and the relationship went till either the end of 2002, about December, or the beginning of January 2003. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And during the entire time, as I understand it, this was not a romantic relationship. It was a friend relationship, correct?
Correct.
Is platonic a fair word to use to describe you and Ms. Clarkson's relationship with one another?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you would take a moment, where was it and under what circumstances did you meet Ms. Clarkson?
I met her through a mutual friend who had told me about a project that was going on, a sitcom pilot. So a group got together to meet about the project, and she was there as well through another mutual friend.
Had you ever seen her before that time?
No, I hadn't.
Had you ever met her before that time?
No.
All right, so this group got together, is that right?
Yes.
Is this what you would call a writers group?
It was a group of writers and performers, yes.
Okay. When you say,
Well, duh, Rosen. If he's never seen her before, that means he's never met her before. Maybe you should have switched those two questions around.
am I hearing it correctly, such as actors?
Correct.
All right. Take a moment, if you would, and tell the jury what your profession was at that time.
Actually, at the time, I was in writing and production, and this was an opportunity to do some writing and producing with a group of comedians.
Okay. And currently, okay. And how many people would you say
A lot of people were writers / performers, and
they wore both hats?
correct.
Okay.
And it was left up in the air as to part of the show and who would be just behind the scenes.
Version. Would you tell the jury what the project was?
It was a show called Mismatched, which was a combination sitcom / sketch comedy show.
Okay. And you had this first meeting with these individuals, and was that meeting at one of the group members' homes, I'm assuming?
It was.
Okay, was that here in Los Angeles?
It was in the Valley.
In the San Fernando Valley?
Yes.
Okay, Los Angeles County.
Correct.
Okay. And I think you indicated that there was 15 people, 12, 15 people, something like that?
Correct.
One of which was Miss Clarkson, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you a picture, and I'm going to ask you to take a look at it. Jen, could you please help us? In your honor, this has been previously marked. Jen, can you help? We'll get it. 7 a.m. And that's now, do you see Lana Clarkson in that photo?
I do.
Would you share with us which individual is it?
Furthest,
You only have two choices.
furthest on the left.
Okay, indicating your honor furthest on the left. Right in the left coat and the red blouse. Yes. Okay. And that's the individual identified as Lana Clarkson who attended this first meetings group for this project. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in that point forward, I'm assuming that the relationship, the platonic relationship, springboarded forward for the next 8 or 9 months. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at that first meeting, did you and Ms. Clarkson get to know one another?
A little bit. We talked a little bit.
Okay. Why don't you tell the jury how the relationship developed over the next weeks and months?
We spoke briefly about my past experience in theater groups in LA, the Groundlings and Acme Comedy Theater. And after that, maybe a month or so or a couple of weeks later, after meeting a couple of times in the group, she had called me and asked about coming over to watch some of her sketch comedy.
Okay. And did she extend you that invitation?
She did.
And eventually, did you take her up on that?
I did.
And where'd you go?
To her place in Venice.
Okay. Did she refer to the place in Venice as a cottage?
She did.
Was that the word she used?
Yes.
So she invited you over to the cottage. And can you pinpoint any better the time? Was that in, say, in May, June, July, August? When was that? As best you can remember.
Honestly, it's fine. There was early part of the summer, late.
Okay. Summer of 2002, correct?
Correct.
So somewhere between June and September, right?
Correct.
All right. How many times did you visit her at the cottage?
Only 3 times.
May I have the court's indulgence for a moment, please? And it was in Venice, is that right? Could you just kind of tell us a little bit about what it looked like? Was it a very large structure, a small structure?
It was fairly small. It was a kitchen and then a bedroom.
And I understand Ms. Clarkson had it decorated in a particular theme, is that correct?
Yes, she had paintings.
I can see it, Jill. And to make you feel better, I will tell you what I thought and didn't say. I thought it's a good thing he's into writing and producing because he doesn't have the face for television. So there, now you can feel better.
And pictures, and then she also had a lot of leopard skin. It seemed like a theme.
Okay. Once you got
Nancy, how do you know that? They haven't said she slept with anybody. In fact, I think that was the reason why she wanted to leave his house, was because she didn't want to sleep with him. I think he got a little bit too handsy with her, though, because of the swabs they took. Because they swabbed areas that were private and got his DNA off of it. But I think ultimately they didn't. I think that's why she wanted to leave, and that's why he pew-pewed her. But I don't think there's been any evidence that she slept around a lot.
Did she indicate to you in any of those conversations that Marilyn Monroe was in fact her idol?
Yes, she did.
Share with us, if you would, as you got to know Lana, what would the two of you do in terms?
A lot of times just going to movies and dinner, things like that. She also wanted my feedback on her writing and performing and wanted to be a part of working together on different projects, things like that.
Okay, let's go back then to the point where she extends you the invitation. She wants you to come over and look at it. I think you said, if I'm wrong, a sketch work?
Yes.
Okay. And you indicated you accepted the invitation. You went to the cottage, correct?
Correct.
And when you got to the cottage, Lana was there?
Yes.
Was anyone else there?
No.
So it was just the two of you?
Yes.
And you went specifically for the purpose of looking at this sketch and giving her feedback, correct?
Yes.
Now, did you look at it?
I did.
It was a video or a DVD, wasn't it?
Correct. Yes.
About 30 minutes, 35 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. It had a title, didn't it?
It did, but I don't recall what it was.
All right. Well, if I suggested it was called Lana Unleashed, does that ring a bell with you?
Honestly, I don't recall.
Okay, that's fine. And as I understand it, the sketch was a series or a suite of vignettes. Is that correct?
Correct.
And how many were there?
I want to say between 8 and 10.
Okay. Did Lana tell you at some point when she showed it to you, did she speak to the cost, the financial cost to produce this to you?
Yes, she did.
What did she tell you about that?
Objection, that would be hearsay.
You want to approach the bench?
Sure.
Actually, you don't need to. I'm going to overrule the objection. Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
When the judge says overruled, it means you may answer the question. What did she tell you about this, the cost of producing this?
She told me that she had to borrow quite a lot of money in order to get it. I think she said that someone that she knew in San Francisco had lent her maybe between $30,000 and $40,000 to produce it.
And did she also tell you that she had to pay that money back?
Yes, she did. She said she owed it.
Okay. Did she indicate to you that she had any ability to pay that back?
No, not at the time.
Did it appear to you that that was something that was pressing on her? This financial responsibility of paying back the individual in San Francisco?
Well, at this point, it calls for speculation. The objection is sustained.
Okay, let me rephrase it a different way. Did Lana discuss with you her financial obligation to pay back the individual in San Francisco?
Only to say that she owed it, but that the person was very understanding as far as paying it back.
Between, say, summer, when you started to know her better, let me ask, how many times do you think you and Lana saw each other face to face over the period of your friendship?
I would say maybe 10 to 15 times, a lot more speaking on the phone, emails, that sort of thing.
That was my next question. You used other forms of communication, didn't you?
Correct.
One of which, of course, was the telephone, right?
Yes.
Is there any way you can estimate how many times you spoke to her on the phone over that 8-9 month period?
I would say we probably spoke every other day or so.
Okay, so it was a lot of phone calls.
Yeah.
And you also availed yourself of email, correct?
Yes.
And I assume there were a lot of emails back and forth during that time.
Yeah, I would say a fair amount.
Okay. During the time, say from the summer of 2002 up to about December of 2002, did you have discussions with Lana about, well, strike that. Let me finish this first subject, which was, you looked at the sketch, and when the sketch was over with, she asked for your impressions, correct?
Yes.
And it was your intent to be diplomatic with her, kind with her, correct?
Yes.
What was your impression of the sketch?
Objection. It's irrelevant.
Overrule, just to explain what it was and perhaps as a foundation for other questions. You may answer.
It is, thank you.
I felt like it should range as far as playing different characters. I didn't think it was that funny.
Okay. And you shared that with her, but in a delicate way, is that correct?
Correct.
And she was disappointed, correct?
Yes, she was disappointed, but was open to, constructive criticism.
Sure, open to constructive criticism, but disappointed in your opinion because she valued your opinion.
Objection. Counsel was leading.
Sustained.
Was it your impression that she valued your opinion?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. During this time, did you have discussions with her about depression?
I wouldn't say they were discussions about depression, but she did mention several times that she was feeling a little low, feeling depressed.
What was she depressed about? Did she share it with you?
Mostly about her career.
What did she tell you about her career that led her to be depressed?
I think she felt like,
Objection, this calls for speculation.
Sustain, no feelings on your own part, please. What she said is fine.
Thank you. What did she say to you about her career, where it was in terms of depression?
she had said that she felt like she should be further in her career than she was, that she had hoped to land, either one big movie part or one big television series part, and become more famous than she was.
Did she speak to you about this also in terms of the age that she was approaching? She was about to turn 40. Did she discuss that subject with you in terms of her age?
I can't recall her speaking specifically about her age in relation to her career, but that as she got older, it seemed less likely, generally.
Okay.
I can't recall her ever drinking specifically. I thought that we'd gone out a couple of times and I hadn't made a note. I know that I drank, and I can't recall if she had drank when I was with her.
Okay, so your recollection today is you don't know whether she did or she didn't in your presence.
Correct.
Okay, did you ever see her take any pills in your presence?
No.
Okay. Do you remember testifying at the grand jury, sir?
I do.
Okay. And do you remember at the grand jury, which took place, I'm not sure, Your Honor, I got two dates here on the cover, so I'm going to state them both. It was either Friday, September 10th or Monday, September 13th, 2004. There's two dates here. There should really be one because you only testified on one day, right?
Correct.
All right, so I don't know which is the correct date, but it's one of those two, yes?
I remember testifying. I can't recall.
Okay, and you remember there was a deputy district attorney there, like the two DAs here, Mr. Dixon and Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
And do you recall? Thank you, Your Honor. I want to give Mr. Dixon and Mr. Jackson a look at the transcript.
Okay?
See if they have any objection.
I do.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Shapiro, I'm going to show you a portion of a transcript of your testimony at the grand jury back in 2004 in September, okay? And I'm just going to ask you to read it to yourself. And after you've read it, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And I'm going to, for the record, direct his attention, Your Honor, to page 735, lines 16 through 21, okay? Okay?
Yes,
Have you read that?
I did.
Okay. Can I have it back? You don't get to keep this. We don't send you out here with anything. Okay.
We'll get you a complimentary copy of it.
I'd appreciate it.
He can say that, I can't. Mr. Shapiro, does that refresh your memory that at the grand jury, you testified that you believe that she did in fact consume alcohol beverage, but you just weren't sure of what?
Without reading it entirely, it does misstate it. You need to
I'll read the whole thing.
context.
Sure. I'm going to read you a question and an answer, okay? And you just tell me whether or not that was your answer at the grand jury, all right?
Yeah.
The question by Mr. Sortino, that was the DA, the deputy district attorney at the grand jury. During the times that you went out with Lana, did she ever consume alcohol in your presence? Answer, that's you. I actually don't recall. I believe she did, but I wouldn't say that I can recall precisely what she ordered when we would go out for dinners and stuff. Do you remember providing that answer to that question on either September 10th or September 13th of 2004 at the grand jury?
I believe that was my answer. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, want to return to what we were talking about a moment ago, and that is you were having discussions with her over this period of time from the summer of 2002 up into the end of 2002, beginning of 2003. And you shared with us that you and she did discuss, in fact, her career. And apparently she wasn't pleased with where it was at that point based on what you've told us. When she would talk to you about her career, would she ever cry?
She did.
Okay. And did it appear to you to be sincere?
I think so. There was a lot of frustration.
Okay. What do you mean there was a lot of frustration? What do you mean by that?
I think, as I said, she had said that she felt like she should be further in a different place. And so when she would talk about it, or when I would comfort her and say, at the time.
Okay, you said her depression regarding what her career was.
I'm sorry.
What is it that she would say to you that would bring on these tears when she discussed her depression regarding her career with you?
I can't recall specifically. I want to say that the subject was similar to what I was saying before about her feeling like she should be further along in her career, that things hadn't fallen her way.
Okay. You used the term, I think, a little earlier in your testimony that she seemed to be frustrated about her career. What did she say or do that made you feel that way?
Again, I think it was her.
Was questions about the you and Clarkson?
Yes. She had spoken a number of times about how she was living very close to the edge as far as her ability to pay for her cottage and pay her regular bills. And at some point she did ask if it would be possible to borrow some money from me.
Did she ever mention to you, I really need financial help from you right now?
She said something along those lines. I can't recall specifically if those words were used.
Over what period of the time that you knew her, from the summer of 2002, May, June, to the end of 2003 or the beginning of the end of 2002 or the beginning of 2003, over that span of time, was this a subject that came up fairly frequently?
I would say so, yes.
How did she try and borrow money from you?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, I think you indicated she tried to borrow money from you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, would you explain to the jury how that happened?
There were a couple of times when she would just, in small ways, ask, if I felt like taking her out to eat or grabbing a bite. She would sometimes get tickets to Directors Guild screenings, and in return, I would take her out for a bite. And then there were other times when she simply asked me if it would be possible to borrow a few $100s to pay her rent.
That actually occurred in conversation as well as in some email transmissions, didn't it?
It did.
Okay, and tell us about that. She wanted to borrow money from you to pay for her rent, and just tell us what happened in that regard.
Originally, she had asked for a little bit of help, and I said, whatever I can do, I'd like to be able to help. Then one day, while we were at a dinner, she asked if she could borrow $600 to pay her rent, and I felt a little bit uncomfortable with that. The next day, we spoke about it a little bit, and I said, it's getting close to the holidays, and that it would be a little bit difficult. And she asked me how much I felt comfortable lending her. I said maybe $200, and she said that would be fine. And I suppose the more I thought about it, the more uncomfortable I felt about the negotiation of talking about how much money she needed to pay her rent or to get her bills paid. And then in the end, I felt a bit uncomfortable about lending her any money, and it became sort of the thing that ended our friendship.
What do you mean it sort of became the thing that ended our friendship? What do you mean by that?
We just went back and forth by email. She felt like I had betrayed her by not lending her the money and said that, that I wasn't a true friend. And I said, I'm really sorry you feel that way. I think she was I feel like it was a stressful time and that she was.
No, she is not the true friend. She was not the true friend. If you have a friend that is not your friend because you don't lend them money, they are not the true friend, not the other way around. She didn't deserve to die the way she did, but I don't like this woman. I'm sorry.
Blaming the stress on, or blaming me not lending her the money on the stress in her life.
But you made the decision not to loan it to her, correct?
I did.
Okay. Did she indicate to you that she wanted to borrow the money because she was in fear of being evicted from the cottage?
She did.
And you said this occurred around Christmas time, is that right?
I would say so, yes.
Christmas 2002.
Correct.
Okay. During the time that you were with Lana, Mr. Shapiro, was there ever an occasion where it appeared to you that Lana had money? A decent amount of money?
In what sense?
It's vague. It's vague. Let me withdraw. Okay. I know Mr. Jackson. Let me ask this. When you would go out with Lana, did she ever pay?
Rarely. I think she would, if anything, she would pay for the movie and then I would pay for a more expensive dinner, things like that.
Okay. You never received any lavish gifts from her, I'm assuming?
No.
And from your relationship with her, it didn't appear to you that she was leading a lavish lifestyle?
No, she would ask me about doing things, but most of them were dependent on, on me paying for it, that the only way that she could afford to do it or to do those things was if I treated.
So she was looking for you to pick up the tab?
Yes.
Okay. And of course, indulgence just for a moment, please. Now, you indicated that there were emails that went back and forth between you and Ms. Clarkson. Is that correct?
Correct.
Let's talk about some of those if we may for a moment, okay?
Sure.
You turned over some of those emails to the prosecution, isn't that right?
Yes.
And that was done, if I'm incorrect, please let me know, but as I understand, that was long before anybody from the defense got together with you, isn't it right?
Correct.
Okay. So you didn't have your first contact with anybody from the defense side until emails basically between you and Lana, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I've got some of those, Mr. Shapiro, and I'm going to put them up on the screen for us to chat here a little bit about this afternoon, okay?
Okay.
All right. And Your Honor, the first one I'm going to ask to be put up is an email, and these has these, Your Honor.
Okay.
And this is date stamp number for Mr. Jack, benefit 747. And this, Your Honor, is in mail February 13th, 2002 at 2:25 Eastern Daylight, EDT. Okay. That's it. That's it. What's on? I misspoke. Friday, September 13th, 2002, 2:25 p.m. It looks like. Okay. Let's. Okay. This was an email.
Before you publish that, could you take it down? Is that still your current email address?
It is not.
It's not? Okay, that's fine.
ahead. Okay. Your Honor, before we start, Jen was kind enough to remind me, this has not been marked yet, and I think we're at, oh, is it? Okay.
Sextuple, pardon me.
Septuple. Seventuple. Okay, so let's take a look at that. The first email comes out at 2:46 p.m. and that's an email from whom, Mr. Shapiro?
That's an email from me
Okay, and who's it to?
to Lana,
And how do you know that?
her email address.
And her email address is livingdollprod@aol.com.
Correct, yes.
And did you send her this email?
I did.
Okay, and what does it say?
I'd love to feed you and sketch with you, but my hours are crazy right now, working all day Saturday and Sunday, and I'm not sure I'll be able to do much more than sleep afterwards. I'll try and call, though, and maybe we can talk out some ideas on the phone. Miss you, David.
Okay, and that was your email, correct?
It was.
And you got a response from that, didn't you?
Yes. I
Okay,
did.
and Jen, could we have a response, please? Thank you. All right, and at 2:25, on September 13, 2002, well, actually, yours was a response
I
to hers.
believe so. It was
Yeah.
the other way around.
It is the other way around, exactly. Yours is a response to hers. And this is to you, is that correct?
This is to me.
Okay, that was your old email address,
That was.
and it's from Living Doll Productions, correct?
It's from, yes,
And that's Lana, right?
yes.
And what does Lana say to you?
Hey, stranger, what's up? How's your pup? How are you digging your new gig? Are you in the mood to feed a starving actress and toss some sketch ideas around tomorrow night? You may already have plans, but I have a little deal I'm working on, and I could really use your fabulous writer's brain power. Got family stuff happening on Saturday and Sunday, so if you're available and game, that'd be cool. Let me know. XO, Miss Lana.
You see the part up there where it says, are you in the mood to feed a starving actress?
I do.
Okay. When you read that, what did you think?
I don't think at the time, I thought about it one way or the other.
Okay. Did she refer to herself as a starving actress on more occasions than this email?
I think that's fair to say, yes.
Let's take a look at the next email. And Your Honor, this has been previously marked as defendant's triple S.
All right.
Jen, could I have your assistance, please? Thank you. And we need that enlarged. Thank you. All right. This email is dated October 25th, 2002, 4:58 p.m., correct?
Yes, it is.
A Friday, right?
Yes.
And who sent this email?
This was from Lana,
And how do you know that?
from the email address, livingdollprod,
And who was it addressed
to me, David Shapiro.
to? And let's read that. What does that say?
Nothing. Wish I was busier with fabulous paid acting work. Tons of follow-up mailings and paperwork to do, but the depression level I'm experiencing due to major financial difficulties make me extremely spent and worn out. I was to attend that party tonight, and I'm instead going to stay home and veg, watching bad free library movies. I'm looking into other gigs now that the flaky manic depressive music guy is no longer an option for an employment. It's tough to find a job these days, period, let alone when you're only qualified to shine, as you so kindly put it. I'm so tired of struggling to eat. Anyway, I'm normally such a happy, positive person. Seems like I'm always in the dumps when you check in. Sorry about that. If for some reason you want to phone, use the cell as the home will be turned off after 5 p.m. today. Don't work too hard. XO Lana.
This was not a very happy email, was it?
She didn't seem happy in that email.
When you saw here that she said in paragraph 3, I'm so tired of struggling to eat, she had already previously emailed you the month before asking you if you wanted to feed a starving actress, correct?
Yes.
What did that do when you saw those two phrases at the different times like that?
I knew she was struggling, paying her bills and getting meeting her obligations. And I believe at this point I had said to her that, if you ever need a little bit of help, and in that I was talking about, some money for groceries or something like that, that I would be able to help her.
Money for groceries, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Sure, and that's because you were a good friend, right?
I think so.
Okay, and you wanted to help her in those little ways that you could, correct?
Yes.
All right. And did you ever discuss with her the fact that she says here she had a depression level that she was experiencing due to major financial difficulties, which was making her feel extremely spent and worn out?
I didn't delve into that specifically. I think generally we spoke about her situation.
Ever indicate to you that one of the major financial difficulties was paying the gentleman back in San Francisco the $30 or $40 to make the program?
Absolutely.
Sustained.
Did you ever have a discussion with her regarding the debt owed in San Francisco as being one of her major financial difficulties?
Same question.
Sustained.
Okay.
Correct.
And you got it, right?
I did.
And let's take a look at another email if we can. And this would be Bates stamp 749. And Your Honor, this has not been previously marked, so I'm going to ask the court if we can mark it. Defendant's next in order, which I would believe would be 7 Ps, correct? Okay. All right. Can we have the bottom one rolled up first, please? All right. Let's take a look at this email, Mr. Shapiro, and let's go through this together. First of all, what is the date?
It's October 25th, 2002,
And the time?
5:41 p.m.
Okay. And who sent you this email?
This is from Lana.
And it was sent to you, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And it starts out with, hey, an addendum to my last message.
It does.
Okay. Could you read the rest of it to us, please?
I'm dying to see one of my favorite movies of all time, Young Frankenstein, on the big screen. You're probably working, but if on the off chance that you have tomorrow evening off, would you want to take me? It's playing at the Alex Theater in Glendale at 8 p.m. It'll be packed, but you can reserve tickets for $8 per at phone number, website address.
Yeah, you don't have to read that information.
It would be a wonderful escape, and we could eat before or after if you're so inclined. Just a thought. It's been on my calendar for months. Later's, Lana Jean.
Did you know whether or not her middle name was in fact Jean? Or was it a name she used?
I didn't know.
Okay. So in this email, she's asking if you want to take her out for the evening. Is that correct? It would be a wonderful escape, and we could eat before or after if you were so inclined, correct?
She does.
Okay. Did you ever make this date with her, or were you tied up?
I didn't.
Okay. You were busy working?
Yes.
That's what I thought. You responded to her in an email 5:48 p.m., which is the one above it. Is that correct?
I'd have to see it, but I believe so. Yes.
Okay. And let's go to the next one. The next one, Your Honor, is Bates stamp number 750. Like the last one, this has not been previously marked, so I would ask that we mark this defense Q, 7Q.
So marked.
Okay, thank you. And Jen, with your assistance, can we have that blown up? Okay. And the date on this one, Mr. Shapiro, shows us to be Friday, October 25th, 2002 at 9:42 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
And from whom is this email,
It's from Lana
and to whom is it addressed?
to me, David.
Okay. And could you read that, please?
Managed to talk them into waiting until Monday night. Figured I could at least have a few more days. You never know, I might book some fab part and be whisked off to some exotic locale. Meanwhile, I guess I'll have to bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests. Yeehaw. Sad you can't come to see Frankie. It's my favorite. Nighty night, L.
Okay. You see the first part of the email where she says, managed to talk then into waiting until Monday night. Figure I could at least have a few more days till DAZE.
Yes.
Do you know what she was referring to there?
Yes, in the previous email, she had said something about them getting ready to turn off her phone, and when I spoke to her, I guess she'd left a message for me, and I said, "Oh, they didn't turn off your phone," and then she mentioned that she got them to hold off a few more days.
Give her a reprieve for a couple minutes.
Correct.
But it was a phone that they were threatening to turn off, is that right?
I believe so.
And she told you for
Speculation.
It's sustained, he's interpreting things which, I mean, he can testify as to what was said in the conversation, he can testify to what the email said, and then after that, it becomes a matter of drawing a conclusion.
I understand. Did she say to you, either by way of email or by way of voice, that they were threatening to turn off the phone because she hadn't paid her bill?
I can't quite recall whether she had said her phone or her email. I believe it was her phone, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. And now let's turn to the last email I want to review with you. And that is base stamp number 745 and 746. And Your Honor, this has been previously marked defendant's triple Q.
Okay.
Jen, if I could have your help, please. By the way, Mr. Shapiro, while Jen's helping us out here, let me ask you a question. This is just a sampling of some of the emails, isn't that correct?
It is.
There were certainly more, right?
There was.
Okay. Now, could we have the heading on this first, please, Jim? Just the heading. February 5th, 2003 at 8 o'clock in the morning, is that correct?
Yes.
And who is this sent to?
That actually is my current email address.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll try to protect your privacy.
Thanks.
Approach on the email. We do this way as opposed to that way, so you don't get a bunch of email. May I remain here to question? Thank you. All right, I'm showing you what's been bait marked, stamped 745, page number 745. Now, you see the top here, and it shows February 5th, 2003, 8 a.m., correct?
Yes.
And there's an email there between you and Lana, correct?
Correct.
All right. But let's drop down. What we're interested in is the next date. And what is the next date? Jen, you got it up there. Okay, thank you. Okay, what is the next date?
12/8/02, 9:23 p.m.
Okay, December 8th of 02 at 9:23 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
Who wrote this email?
That was from Lana.
Who she sent it to?
To
Okay. No. Yes. All right. And let me take a moment and read this through with you. May I, Mr. Shapiro?
Sure.
And I'll ask you to direct your attention up to the board. And as you said, it shows the date of December 8th of 02 at 9:23 p.m. So this was in the evening hours, correct?
yes.
You don't happen to know what December, okay. Hi, Davey. Thanks for the lovely evening last night. I very much enjoyed your company and, of course, the yummy food, which I wholeheartedly enjoyed yet again this evening. Thank God for it. I feel really bad even taking you up on your offer of a $200 loan. I thought with all the hours you've been working and the fact that you have credit cards, that you were in a much more solid position. I certainly wouldn't want to affect your family holiday adversely in any way. If you can do that, that'd be, I have nowhere else to turn. I'll most probably have to move from the cottage. But this small loan will at least help in some way or another. It is very kind of you, and I am sincerely appreciative of that. Call me and let me know how we can connect. Not to telephone tonight at the end of this whole deal. I'm going to tidy up my affairs and chuck it, because it's really all too much for just one girl to bear anymore. Don't worry, not before I pay you back. Sweet dreams, dear friend, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. XO Lana. It's a sad email, isn't it?
It is.
When you received this, did you feel badly for her as a good friend?
I felt badly and possibly that it was a bit over dramatic.
Okay. But these are the words that she emailed to you. These were her words, correct?
They are.
She counts as leading.
No, that's the fact that she is overruled. The answer will stand.
You didn't offer these words, did you?
No, I didn't.
Lana did, correct?
Correct.
And I note that this email was sent on December 8th at 9:23 in the evening, correct?
Correct.
And this was sent subsequent to many of the conversations you had had with her over the summer and into the fall about her depression and her career not being where it should be and her money problems, correct?
Yes.
Just one other brief area. What's the last email you received from Lana Clarkson?
I think it was, but I don't think I had the final email to the prosecution.
So, as far as we know, this is the last email that you can produce that you got from her, correct?
Correct.
We're not saying it is the last one, but it's the last one that you produced for the prosecution, correct?
Correct.
Court indulgence for a moment.
Yes. Yes.
Nothing further attached to this.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
How you doing, Mr. Shapiro? These papers, they look more intimidating than they are. A couple of questions about your testimony this morning. Business in general, the business in general that you're back in 2002, kind of a tough business all the way around, correct?
It is.
I mean, you would consider it someone who's in the business now and has actually gotten your foot in the door, and hopefully it's not getting squashed too much, that it can be a fickle business. Yeah, there's ups, and when the ups are up, they can be way up, right?
Sure.
There's downs can be way down too, correct?
Yes.
A lot of times people in the entertainment industry don't just go on little wavelengths that bounce up and down like a tide pool. They go way up and way down like a tsunami, correct? It's feast or famine, to use a phrase, correct?
There's highs and lows, yes.
And you've suffered that yourself, as a matter of fact.
I did.
As a matter of fact, in one of the, and I don't want to get too personal about this. Your personal life is not really an issue, but just since you're here and you've been in the business, one of the emails that you talked about was, in fact, suffering at the hands of unemployment yourself at times, correct?
Correct.
And you heard Lana Clarkson Clarkson say several of her emails. Oh goodness, me down in the dumps. I mean, you've been down in the dumps yourself, correct?
Sure.
When you're unemployed and you're looking for work, and you think, heck, I've got a lot of talent. I've got somebody say, look at me. That can make you a little depressed, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're Very, very good.
I don't think Mr. Jets has been this rich since the trial started.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Doesn't happen often, Mr. Shapiro. Relish point. All right. Very, very good. All right. The point of the matter is, it is an up and down, back and forth business. Doors can close in your face in an instant. Doors can be opened in an instant.
Yes.
All right. So it was not unusual, I guess, to get to my final point. It was not unusual or common when in the industry. About that in general. Like, what's going on with your career, correct?
Yes.
Like, are you still employed? Are you still working in the software industry? That's probably not the water cooler talk, correct?
Correct.
But in the entertainment business, heck, that's all they talk about, right? The two actresses see each other. Hey, have you got a part? Are you employed right now? Are you unemployed? Are you starving? Are you fat? PHAT fat? One or the other, right?
I haven't heard that term, but yes.
All right. In other words, this is a common thread that's woven through that entire industry, correct?
Yeah, the jobs are much more short term, and so there's a lot more in a job out of a job than there is in most other industries, I think.
Right. That having been said, you received several emails from Lana Clarkson. In your estimation, by the way, quite a beautiful woman, yes?
I think so, yeah.
Very attractive, statuesque blonde, very striking looking.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Probably someone who would be used to getting a lot of attention when she walks into a room, taller than a lot of the men in the room, and a statuesque blonde, correct?
Yes.
So when she talked about this frustration level, you could certainly understand that and help put salve on that wound, if you understand what I mean.
I think so, as far as comforting her and telling her that other people have gone through this.
Right, and she's certainly not, in your experience, not the first actress to go through difficult times, highs and lows, correct?
No.
As a matter of fact, in your experience you're a writer, yes?
Yes.
And you're employed in the industry right now?
I am.
All right. Congratulations, by the way. In your experience, it's not uncommon to discuss openly those frustrations in hopes that someone will hear it, know that you may be unemployed, and think, you know what? I'm going to give that guy a chance, or I'm going to give that gal a chance, right?
Sure.
I mean, that happens all the time. That's sort of the nature of that industry. Yes?
To let people know what position they're in and hope that, someone's heard of something that might be right for them.
Correct. If you're a lawyer like me, I probably wouldn't walk in a room and go, hey, folks, nice party, and I'm unemployed. But if you're an actor, certainly it would not be uncommon to walk in and say, hey, folks, nice party, can I have a beer? And I'm unemployed. I'm ready for work. Correct?
Not usually in those terms, but I'm looking for something.
All right. When she indicated that she was a starving actress, it's not the first time you've ever heard that phrase, correct?
No.
As a matter of fact, that's a phrase that's tossed around this town quite often, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, most, I would bet, and waitresses that food here in Los Angeles, a good number of them are quote unquote starving actors. You received the email, Mr. Shapiro, that you believe that she was literally starving, did you?
No.
You didn't think that,
No.
correct? I mean, literally, she wasn't, you didn't think to yourself, my goodness, she's malnourished and I need to call a doctor.
No.
That's a phrase, right?
Right.
She was inclined toward alliteration in her emails.
No, I'm going to object before that question. It's speculation.
No, they exchange emails. He's able to answer that. I'll allow it.
I think she was given to over dramatics and sort of describing the situation as, in terms that people knew.
More dire than it really was.
Correct.
All right. And that was sort of her persona, at least her written persona, her frustrations and things like that. She indicated in the second email that Mr. And I don't think we need to put him up there. We've all seen him. We'll just take a little extra time. In her second email that Mr. Rosen talked to you about, that started out numbered nothing, apostrophe,
Yes.
dot, dot, dot. She talked about some major financial difficulties, et cetera. And she also indicated that she was normally such a happy and positive person, correct?
Correct.
I mean, and then in the very same sentence, she said, I'm normally a happy and positive person. I'm sorry, David, that you catch me in the dumps every once in a while, right?
Correct.
And when she said, I'm in the dumps every once in a while, that didn't concern you, did it?
No.
I mean, it is what it is. Some people in their lives have high days, get up on the right side of the bed, as they say, and have low days, get up on the wrong side of the bed, correct?
Correct.
Is that how you took that email when she said, hey, look, I'm having some financial difficulties and I'm normally such a happy person. I'm sorry that you're catching me in a bad mood or I'm down in the dumps.
Yes.
Okay. So that was not of concern to you either.
No.
Again, it's sort of this written alliteration, this drama, if you will, and I mean nothing pejorative by that, just this drama that Lana Clarkson was given to, correct?
Yeah, I think she put it out there as in hopes of being comforted or being taken for a quick meal, but nothing serious.
Have you ever heard the phrase high maintenance?
I have.
Okay, and I'm walking on very thin eggshells with these questions. Again, I don't mean anything pejoratively by this. You knew Miss Clarkson, or you had a relationship with Miss Clarkson. She was someone who enjoyed being stroked a little bit, correct?
Correct.
Being taken care of, correct?
Correct.
Being taken care of by her friends, by her family, as you knew.
Correct.
And she liked the fact that you were a good friend, and obviously through some of your emails, you can tell that you were very resilient. And when she would get down in the dumps, you would kind of stroke her ego a little bit, correct?
Correct.
And she seemed to like that.
Yes.
And you certainly didn't mind offering that in terms of your friendship for her, correct?
Correct.
So this was not an unusual set of emails that you were receiving and sending, where, for instance, she indicates. I'm normally so happy and positive and upbeat, but you caught me down in the dumps.
No.
All right. And your reaction to that would be, hey, don't worry about it. Everybody goes through this. I know you're frustrated. It'll all be fine. Correct?
Yes.
Something like that. As a matter of fact, you indicated in one of your emails to her, I think the one dated October 25th, 2002, quote, I understand about happy, positive Lana. You started out a paragraph like that. Y'all had talked about the fact that she was so upbeat and so happy and energetic and positive, correct?
Correct.
All right. That's how you knew her. That's how you knew the Lana Clarkson that you were involved in a friendship with, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you indicated, hey, look, I'm in the same boat. If I were still carefree and 24 hours a day and unemployed days, et cetera, et cetera. What you were referring to is in the exact same position that she has, on a different side of the entertainment industry, but in the same position. Unemployed, wake up in the morning, oh God, I gotta look for work again. This is so depressing, et cetera, correct?
Correct.
You were never in your life suicidal, were you, about that fact?
No.
Overruled.
The answer was no. When, as a matter of fact, just to end that last phrase, you may recall this because it's actually kind of a nice way of writing on your part. I'd be taking care of you. It's hand from your shine, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, that was your writing to her.
Yes.
All right. And what you were indicating by that, Mr. Obviously, don't worry. In the dumps, we've all been there. I was there. I was unemployed. And if I had time right now, if I was still the carefree David, as you put it, I'd be over there enjoying just being in your company, correct?
Correct.
She was that kind of person.
Yes.
Magnetic personality, energetic, fun, sweet.
Yes.
All right. And again, given to a little drama, correct?
Yes.
Even on cross, I'm going to sustain it. You made that point.
I guess the reason I'm asking that one more time is because I'm coming to another email where Mr. Rosen asked you about her stating something about an amateur strip contest. In other words, meanwhile, I'll guess I bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests. And then she ends that sentence with the word YEEHAAAA. Diana, that's the first time you've ever put yeehaw in a transcript, isn't it? It just comes back, doesn't it?
He's going to get 30 questions out of that.
I'm going to have to bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests, yeehaw. Now, you, again, did not take her literally, that she was literally going to go down on Sunset Strip and try to find a job doing strip contests, correct?
I didn't think so.
All right. As a matter of fact, that is another example of this alliteration or this being given to drama or maybe a little exaggeration just to make a point, correct?
I think so, yes.
All right. As a matter of fact, you had conversations with friends of yours, Mr. Shapiro, about this and about this this last email that Mr. Rosen read to you. And you indicated to your friends, my goodness, can you believe this? And this, is, of course, was before Ms. Clarkson died. You indicated, can you believe this? This is another dramatic actress. Look at this, correct?
Yes.
All right. When you received the email about the I'm going to chuck it. It's all too much for one girl to bear anymore. Don't worry, I'll not before I pay you back. The last part, don't worry, not before I pay you back, sounds a little bit like she's adding a little humor in there, correct?
I think so, yes.
All right. As a matter of fact, this is yet again another example in your colloquy, your written colloquy with Ms. Clarkson, the fact that she would use phraseology that was dramatic, but interpose it or insert in it some comedy, correct?
I think so, yes.
I'm going to go down and join an amateur strip contest, yeehaw, right?
Right.
Although very frustrated by her finances and obviously frustrated about the loan and the money that she was dealing with at this particular time, she indicated, I'm just going to chuck it. Don't worry, not before I pay you back. You didn't take that as a suicide note, did you?
I didn't.
As a matter of fact, you didn't contact the police.
I didn't.
You didn't pick up a suicide hotline.
No.
You didn't call for any intervention.
No.
You didn't call any of your friends with concerns.
I didn't. I'm not sure. I thought that I had emailed someone, but not about, just more about, look how dramatic she's being.
Right. Look at this actress. This, look, can you believe this? She's being so dramatic, correct?
Correct.
Not, oh my God, I think this woman's at the end of the rope. She's about to kill herself. There's nothing like that.
Correct.
And during the entire time that you were having this colloquy with Ms. Clarkson, obviously you were getting to know her better and better and better, correct?
Yes.
And when you received this email and you were the one in correspondence with her, Mr. Shapiro, you never considered that this was some call for help, that this was some suicide note, that she was in fact at the end of her rope about to kill herself, did you? You never thought that, did you?
No, I didn't.
All right. You still don't think that today, do you?
I don't.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, redirect.
Mr. Attorney. Mr. What happened in this case, do you? Mr. Spector, do you?
I don't.
It's the first you've ever seen him, correct?
Correct.
Okay, in person.
Correct.
All right. I want to take you through some of the questions that Mr. Jackson asked you on cross-examination. He started his cross-examination of you, sir, here this afternoon, not this morning, by asking you whether or not the entertainment business was a tough business. You recall that?
I do.
Okay. And a very fickle business is the words he used. Do you recall that?
I believe so.
A business that sometimes you have ups or way ups or downs or way downs, correct?
Yes.
In the 9 months, the 8 months that you knew Lana Clarkson, did she ever have a way up? She did she?
Objection. Counsel is leading.
The way you asked it was.
I'll rephrase it.
All right.
During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, was she ever way up?
Other than promising prospects, I don't believe she was way up in anything that came to fruition.
During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, did she ever land a big role?
No.
Did she ever land any role?
Not that I can recall or that she told me about.
So during the time that you knew her, from the beginning of the summer of 2002 until the beginning of the winter, well, not the beginning of the winter, but winter of 03, January of 03, you did not know her to ever land any job, correct?
Nothing paying other than the prospect of the pilot that we were working on.
And that gets me to the next question, which leads into the subject matter which Mr. Jackson brought up with you, that in the business, in the entertainment business here in Los Angeles, jobs are much more short-term. Remember, Mr. Jackson asked you about that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, and this question does not include entertainment jobs. We already discussed that. She had. During the time that you knew her, did Lana Clarkson have
Objection. To the phrase, to the way the last question was phrased, it misstates the evidence. I would ask the council just simply rephrase the question as it is without the.
What misstated the evidence?
That Ms. Clarkson had none with regard to entertainment.
Okay, it's
Any
what-
jobs in the entertainment industry.
It's what
That's
he
not
knew.
true.
All right, just rephrase the question.
Okay. Am I correct that you already testified that she had no roles in any entertainment projects during the time you knew her?
That I knew of. No.
Now, put that aside. Now let's talk about just plain old jobs like I have or anyone else has that's not in the entertainment industry, okay?
Yes.
During the time that you knew Lana Clarkson, did she have one job?
The only thing she had told me about was sort of being an assistant to a music guy, like taking him around and driving him, running some errands. But I believe that was short term. I'm not sure that she eventually said that that wasn't going to work out.
Okay. Other than that, did she ever tell you she had any other job during the time that you knew her?
No,
None at all, correct?
I don't believe so. No.
Mr. Jackson asked you about the phrase starving actress and asked you whether or not you took it literally. In other words, was she a starving actress? And you said you didn't, correct?
Correct.
Yet you indicated that you did offer her grocery money, correct?
Yes.
Money for food, right?
Yes.
As a good friend, right?
Yes.
And actually, you didn't offer her grocery money on one occasion. You offered it to her on several occasions, didn't you?
Objection. Council is leading.
Well, I think he asked at the end, didn't you? I'll allow it. Is that true?
To be clear, I said, if you need $25 or $50 to get you through, I don't think I ever specifically said, I said, I may have at some point said, for groceries or things like that.
And over the 8 or 9 months that you knew her, how many times did you make offers like that to her?
I would say 4 or 5.
All right. I'm not going to flash these up here again. What I'm going to do is just reference certain portions of the emails that have already been published to the jury, okay? And then I want to ask you some questions. In the defendant's septuple O, are you in the mood to feed a starving actress? In defendant's triple S, wish I were busier with fabulous paid acting work. Tons of follow-up mail to do, but the depression level I am experiencing due to major financial difficulties make me feel extremely spent and worn out. I'll stay home and veg, watch library movies tonight. I'm so tired of to eat. Normally, I'm such a happy and positive person. Seems I am always in the dumps when you check in. Would you want to take me for dinner? Defendant P7, defendant's Q7. Meanwhile, guess I'll have to bite the bullet and start doing amateur strip contests, yee-haw. And finally, triple Q. I have nowhere else to turn right now, as I mentioned last night. I will most probably have to move from the cottage, but this small loan will at least help in some way or another. I'm sorry not to telephone tonight, but this way you cannot hear my tears. I'm truly at the end of this whole deal. I'm going to tidy up my affairs and chuck it because it's really all too much for just one girl to bear anymore. Don't worry, not before I pay you back. Now that's language that I've extracted from all of these emails that I just showed you. Let me ask you something, sir. Have you ever received from any other email correspondent in the entertainment industry a series of emails that contain that kind of language?
Objection. That's irrelevant.
I'll allow it. You may answer.
I don't believe so, no.
Have you ever received emails with that language from any individual not in the entertainment industry.
Objection again, this is irrelevant.
You know, you asked him questions on cross about how people react to jobs and what's normal within the industry and even outside the industry. I'm going to allow him to answer.
If you're asking, like, people have said, hey, do you want to take me out? Do you want to go do something?
No, the language that I just read you, have you ever gotten a series of emails from one person with that language from individuals who are not in the entertainment industry? When you look at all of that language in those various emails, what was your impression?
I believe that she had definitely had some lows, but that she was given to over dramatics, and I felt like sometimes it was a nice way of or trying to get me to take her out or do something with her, and sometimes it was, you know, that she was feeling a little low and needed someone to comfort her, take her out.
Would the word depression be appropriate?
Objection, Council's leading.
No, he asked whether it would be appropriate. He gives some choices. Overrule.
I would say she had moments of depression.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the door opened.
I believe she had moments of depression.
Would you say that those words, those were her words, correct?
In the emails, correct.
Would you say that those words underlie and would fit the description of depression as you've used it in your prior answer?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. Recross.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thanks for being here. Such a
Yay, perfect time. Well, we're like 3 minutes late. Okay. Bye guys. Bye Terry. See you later. Have a good time outside. Okay, now we are going to go to Karen Reed. If you're not going to join us for Karen Reed, I will see you again tomorrow morning for more Phil Spector. Thank you to my wonderful mod, Judy. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This will redirect you to Karen Reed, and I will see you over there. Bye, guys.